Welcome to Four is a Party. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Four is a Party. I am your Dungeon Master, Carmelo Santiago Jr., and I'm joined by AJ Maggio.
Hey.
You did not just
nasty.
do that.
You're nasty.
You didn't. I know for a fact you didn't do that.
Anyways, enjoy that, everyone. Kevin Carter.
Hello.
Ashley DeSantis.
Hey.
And Johnny Wayne.
Howdy ho.
Insane energy coming back.
What did you just call me?
Boy, howdy. For those partying at home, we haven't recorded in like 2 months.
Yes, it's been a long time since we got together and partied. So why don't we get started with a recap? Last time, the party watched as the King's Hall campus fire died down. They then decided it'd be best to finally return back to the office and tell Garrett Larson what was going on. He was very much relieved to see that everyone was okay and sent them home for the night. Then the next morning, a familiar face was waiting for them at work, Dr. Squish Maw. She told them that after she reported back to Queen Antigia of Novea, that the Queen wanted to meet them personally to hear their own testimony. On the way to Novea, they saw that the cave to the hidden lab had already been taped off and an investigation was already underway. The party then made it into Novea proper and learned about the history of the kingdom with 4 rulers. On their way to Queen Antigia, they had to make their way through the main entrance and first section of the city kingdom under King Oscari's jurisdiction, a sprawling bazaar that serves as the commercial hub of the kingdom and has a unique way of settling disputes with fists. The party then crossed the border into Queen Antigia's domain, a much more organized and wizardly-looking court with towers and flying brooms as the status quo. After a short ride on said flying brooms, the party landed on the floating lab where Queen Antigia was waiting for them inside. Knowing how important it is to treat royalty with respect, Dante starts the conversation by lying to the queen about his identity, potentially costing him some new information about his late mother. They told the truth regarding the incident at the lab, but gave half-truths regarding the fires in King's Hall when the queen asked them in order to protect Morgan's identity. Before they were excused from Queen Antigia's office, Dante's identity was called into question and she let him go with a heavy warning about lying to a queen. She gives a monetary reward to everyone except Dante for their service and tells them that they are welcome to stay in the city until she and the other rulers come to a decision on what to do next. And that's where the party starts today. So you guys are all caught up. It's been a while. So, you guys have just left the laboratory, and you guys are still out on the floating platform. Dr. Maul is there with you once again. She was waiting outside for you guys to finish. She goes, "Hey guys, everything go well? You all have your heads, so that's a good sign, right?"
Does that normally not happen?
No, I'm just talking extremes.
Oh.
I mean, of course, unless someone did something stupid, like lie to her, right?
Yeah,
Takes off people's
that
heads
would
for
be
lying to
stupid.
her?
That would be stupid, wouldn't it?
I'm picking up some hostility here.
Are you?
Dr. Maul takes a step back. Well, I don't know. You guys hash that out.
So, Dr. Ma, why you're here to escort us somewhere?
Yeah, so from what I know, you guys are here to stay for a bit until Queen Antigia and the other rulers get together and figure out what they plan to do next with, your information and whatever they uncover at the lab extra, and maybe even what happened in King's Hall. But yeah, I'm here to serve as a guide for you guys, help you get through the city. I know you got a bit of a reward from Queen Antigia for, saving my life and the lives of my fellow researchers, so thank you again. But if there's anywhere you wanted to go, any shopping you wanted to do, any questions you might have about the city, I'm your gal, at least for the next day.
Yeah, I think we could do with some new supplies.
Dr. Ma says, "Oh, if you're looking for new supplies, well, what kind of stuff are you looking for? You looking for like new gear? You looking for like potions? What are you guys in the market for? Because you kind of get those things from different places."
I don't know. I'm not traditionally very good with money, so I'm prone to some impulse purchases. So I feel like maybe wherever anyone else wants to go I should probably go with whatever you guys want to do.
That was the last thing I got. Well, I got my silver-handled knife a while back. That was a pretty nice gift. I probably should get something more effective for whatever I'm doing.
Oh, it depends on what you're fighting. A silver knife is good for like a werewolf if those things ever crop up.
Oh, no.
Also,
the blade itself isn't silver. It's just the handle.
Oh. I think she turns away from you and I think she turns away from Morgan and Dante because Dante says, "I'm bad with money." And Morgan just is like, "I have this knife. I'm like, I don't think you fight with that. Oh, cool.
Just straight up a kitchen
No,
knife.
no, I don't fight. I wasn't saying I fought with it. I'm just like, it was a nice present I got before.
Not everything's about
That's
combat,
nice.
Dr. Ma.
We fight here. We fight with magic.
And also knives.
She casts fireball.
I mean,
Not
I
firebolt,
can't indeed fight with
straight
magic.
fireball.
Actually, I don't even think Dr. Ma can cast fireball, or else she would have saved herself. Yeah, you said you're going to do whatever anybody else wants because you have no spine. Kitchen knives and wanting new stuff besides kitchen knives.
I could do with a wardrobe upgrade, I think.
Okay. We're talking clothes or like armor?
Yeah.
All right. All right. None of you are decision makers here. Got it.
No, listen. I think armor that looks like clothes could be really cool.
Okay. I think we can find something that works for that.
Yeah, I'm sure that stuff like that exists.
Oh, for sure.
I need a new weapon.
Thank you.
The most definitive statement
Turns to the buddy bot. Thank you.
for being the most autonomous one here.
The one
The
person
most
with
self-determining.
self-governance.
yeah, I guess we could get something to maybe try to power up this gun. I don't know what to call it.
All right.
Wow,
you
really just stumbled into that.
You really fell into that one. Oh, whoops.
Yeah, I need to try and figure out how to upgrade this desert eagle. I don't know. That's the impression I get from it, you know? It looks like a desert eagle, doesn't it?
Dr. Mao says, want a better weapon? Got it. Thank you. So if you're looking for better armor, you're looking for better weapons. It seems like Morgan's also kind of looking for better weapons to like make his spellcasting better. We can kind of get those things from the same place. Dante,
Sounds good to
you know,
me.
if you find something you like, you find something you like.
Keep my eyes open, I guess.
Let's start with the magic weapon or the better weapon, whatever you're looking for. We've got plenty of blacksmiths here who do metal crafting and stuff like that. I think going forward, the best bet for you guys to find some more specific stuff would probably be at the Grand Bazaar in Oscari's court. But we can get to that once we're done here. And then you see that she hops on a flying broom and says, all right, gang, follow me.
All right.
I forgot. Did we park them somewhere?
Yeah, he parked him on the platform.
Okay.
You guys hop on your flying brooms and fly down back into Queen Antigia's court. Dr. Ma leads you down various streets. You see different potion sellers. You see people who make spell scrolls. And eventually you get into an area of her court that is just hotter by feel. You feel the air get... There's a word. It's not humid.
Arid?
Yeah, I was like, humid isn't the word, because like blacksmiths and all that stuff aren't humid areas.
Arid is the opposite of humid. It's dry heat.
Yeah. You guys fly into a specific area of Queen Antigia's court that is just filled with arid heat. It is hot and it is dry, and you hear in the distance the banging of metal against
Metal.
Yeah, you hear the banging of metal against metal as you guys pull in. So Dr. Ma leads you to a specific shop. She parks her little broom. She waits a few minutes for Joelle and Dante to catch up. And once everyone's together again, she gestures out to the sign overhead, and she says, welcome to Wart's Wonderful Weapons. I have a buddy in there named Wart, and I'm sure he can hook you up, Simon, with a new weapon. So she leads you guys inside. You hear the banging of metal against metal. You hear like the stoking of flames, the whoosh of fire, and it gets even hotter as you enter. You see like a massive conveyor belt system that's just like pushing things out that are being made. For no one in particular, they're just being made for someone who might just catch interest in it. And behind this conveyor belt, you see someone scrutinizing the weapons that are coming out on the conveyor belt. And you see this very short, probably like 1.5 feet tall frog person. You see a grung, this small green toad-like creature with bumps all over his body.
Wood.
Hey, I did say in a previous episode that all characters in my fantasy world are hot unless said otherwise. So this grung is
The
hot
hottest
to
frog
someone.
you've ever seen.
This grung is hot to someone. maybe he's not physically attractive, but he has a way with words. So you see this grung here standing at the conveyor and scrutinizing his work and the work of the people who work under him. And Dr. Ma says, "Wart, my friend needs a hookup here. He saved my life, so be kind to him." And Wart goes,
I was like, he's gonna make a sound. This man's not speaking words.
"You know why I made a sound? Because I had no idea what he was supposed to sound like."
I thought you were just gonna go.
On the spot, I said, he does give you the and Dr. Ma says, I know. Been there,
Wait,
done that.
You don't speak that.
Wait. No way that is. You're getting out of a voice by doing that. There's no way.
Okay, well then I'll just go like this. Dr. Ma goes.
Wow, what a beautiful foreign language.
I know, right? They have a way with words. They go back and forth for like a minute of just.
I think I distinctly recognize been there, done that.
She goes.
Been there, done that. That's what that was.
In and out. Dr. Ma eventually turns to you guys, and Grung, they nod in agreement to something. They go to shake hands, and then Grung goes,
Wait, don't you mean Wart?
The grung.
"Oh, the Grung. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, that's kind of rude of me." Anyways, yeah, Wart the Grung. So Wart and Dr. Ma go back and forth for like a minute, and then reach some sort of agreement amongst all the Rs, and they go to shake hands, but then Wart goes because you can't touch a Grung without getting poisoned.
Wait.
Yep.
How does he work on things then?
No.
Does
Physical
this-
contact with him.
It's not like secondhand.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
he's
you
not
look
like
at, you look at
getting
Wart.
his gunk onto the weapons he's
His
No,
using.
no.
grung.
He's not getting his grung on.
I'm grunking on
I
it.
was like, everyone's gonna say it. I have to say it first.
Yeah, for as dry and hot as this workshop is,
He's still
he is
damp.
very damp. He is still so moist and just. Yep.
Disgusting.
you speak grung.
I did. I didn't want to reveal it on the pod, but
On the pod.
Me trying to start my lawnmower. Anyways, Dr. Ma turns back to you guys and goes, "Okay, so Simon, I spoke to him on your behalf. I didn't know if you knew Grung, but it seems like he'll give you a good deal on something that you're looking for. So kind of just look around, pick out your favorites. He makes some good stuff, you know. He makes weapons that have that little extra oomph in them, if you know what I'm saying. You know, something that is gonna do you better than a normal. She points to your hammer, like just like a normal hammer would. No offense.
None taken. Thank you.
And then you get to take a look.
All right.
You tell me what you're looking for, and then we'll kind of, base your weapon off of that.
I want to hit hard.
All right.
I just want to see big number go burr. So I think I want to switch to like a two-handed weapon.
Okay, you kind of find the biggest hammer you can.
Yeah, we can go for like a hammer, or we can go for like a great axe or something.
Okay, sure. As you walk up to the conveyor and watch certain things or like different weapons come off of the conveyor belt, and someone takes them and puts them onto a rack once they're cooled down enough and inspected by Wart. Wart stops you without touching you and kind of just takes a good look at you. There are these guardian bots that exist now, so like buddy bots who have been modified in a way so that they can use weapons and equip them and use them effectively, be proficient in weapons. So he gives you like a look over, and I was going to say without saying anything, but he does. You just don't understand what he's saying. With a few clicks and whirs, Wart looks you over, and after thinking for a moment, he hops off the conveyor line and disappears into the back for a second. After a few minutes, he drags back two weapons because they're significantly bigger than him. He points at them for you to pick them up because he can't get them to you. But on the shop floor, you see, just right there on the floor for you, you see...
Excellent display.
Yeah, you see a giant hammer, and you see a massive axe. They look a little bit different than the stuff that's just normally about. The hammer has what looks like sockets in the handle of it, and the axe has a spike at the end that is glowing red, like as if it's like really hot.
I'm gonna look at our little grung friend, Wart, and I want to ask if I can try them out.
Yeah, of course. He goes, and then turns to the shop and goes, and a moment later, a human and a dwarf come around the corner with a training dummy, and they push it out into the shop floor. There's like a small room that the best comparison is like a firing range, but he doesn't. Oh yeah, he puts it in a firing range because he sells also like crossbows and stuff. So he sells basically any weapon. So they push it out into that area for you, and then he gestures to the weapons for you to grab them.
All right, it was hammer with the socket.
Yeah, hammer. The hammer that looks like it has like sockets or holes in the handle, and there's an axe that has a spike at the front end of it that's glowing like red hot, despite being out of the forge.
I don't think that axe is done. It's still hot.
I'll start with the hammer. I want to pick up the hammer.
Okay, sweet. Sorry, I was gonna look up the rules for touching a grung because I think he's gonna touch you on purpose.
Bumps into me, dies.
Yeah, so the grung plods over to you as if offended by what you said and just gently puts a hand on you about the weapon not being finished. Go ahead and make a con saving throw.
Actually just trying to kill me.
No, because it doesn't do damage.
Okay.
8 fails. So on an 8, you are now poisoned for the next minute.
Dante throws up.
You just feel
Rough.
so sick.
Dante just vomits.
Before you do, he pushes you out of the shop. Just, oh.
Hi, Dante.
That's what he does. He smacks you and
He
starts
says,
pushing you out the way.
No, he says, "Ope," and then pushes you.
Start just
He goes,
speaks
"Oh
common.
shit!"
He pushes you out. He pushes you out, and then once like he's with you there for a moment while you're throwing him, he says, "No one will believe you."
Don't come back.
And then just goes. Wart leaves you out there and returns to the shop to watch Simon use his weapons because these are like special to him, it seems like. So yeah, you said you were going for the axe
Hammer
first. Okay. So as you go to pick up the hammer, he like waves to stop you and points at your fingers and then points at the holes in the handle.
All right, yeah. So I'm gonna put my hands in the holes, or my fingers in the holes, and then pick up the weapon.
So you pick up the weapon, and with the instruction of Wart, you put your fingers inside the holes of the handle, and the handle grips to you versus the other way around where you usually, grip it. And then the handle opens a little bit and then merges with your hand to a small degree. It like almost like attaches as like another part of your hand at the wrist.
And you suddenly can't let go of it.
You're cursed. Attack everybody.
Oh no!
My game plan. Anyways, as this connects to your wrist, you can feel some of the energy of your own body moving into the hammer, not in a like threatening way. It doesn't feel like bad. It doesn't make you feel weak or in any way.
Like it's a part of me.
Yeah, it almost like becoming a part of you, and the flow of your energy is now extended into this, what is basically now a longer arm. And you're free to give it a swing, I guess. Go ahead and make an attack roll on the training dummy.
I guess
Well,
I'm not
nat
really,
20.
I'm not gonna try to raid or anything.
Do you tell him what he adds to this, or?
It's a 13
Yeah,
plus
sure.
whatever.
Yeah, you can add a +1 to this. There you go. Yeah, I was like, what do you mean?
It actually makes you weaker. You only add +1.
Yeah.
That'd be like I don't know. The number would be a little different. I think it's a flat 20.
Okay. So on a flat 20, you smash this.
Training dummy.
Yeah.
You smash this
brain
dummy.
dead. Yeah, you smash this stupid ass.
Me.
So you slam the hammer into the training dummy, and as you do, you feel for a moment as you make contact with it, almost like you have an option in this moment. The hammer is basically asking to pull a little extra power from you. So the question is, do you let it?
Oh yeah,
Okay, absolutely.
I'm testing this out.
So as you hit it, you give the hammer the little bit of energy that you feel it trying to pull, and the hammer hisses with that extra oomph in it, and the edge of the maul extends as it hits the target and shoves the training dummy 5 feet away from you.
Is it a maul or a warhammer?
A maul. It's a two-handed hammer. So he's full swinging with 2 hands, and as he hits it, he gives the extra energy to the maul, and the part that made contact extends out and shoves the training dummy 5 feet away.
That's kind of sick. I forget what the damage is. Is that a D12?
2d6.
2d6. Okay.
And the grung looks at you, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, that feels nice. I want to swing one more time. Just cause.
Yeah, go for it.
Just cause.
Go for the crit.
Go for the grit.
That wasn't more.
You hit even harder this time. You run up on the hammer, you run up on the training dummy again and swing the maul once more. This time, as you make contact, you don't feel it asking for that extra power. Perhaps it's on like a cooldown of some kind. What you actually have in your hands is a maul of shoving. It is a +1 maul, and once per turn, when you hit something with this weapon, you can choose as a free action to shove it 5 feet away from you. But that is once per turn.
Yeah.
You can still hear the hammer hissing as it releases that extra energy.
Pushing back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like retracting. So that's the maul.
All right, I'll set it down, and I'm going to try the Great Axe.
Great axe. All right, sweet. You pick up the great axe. Wart doesn't give you any specific pointers on how to wield it. He just points to the tip at the end. It only juts out like a couple inches from the great axe itself, but it almost seems like he's trying to tell you to, instead of just slashing, also poke with it.
All right, I'll try it.
Sweet.
No good. No, that's not bad. 20. No, 20.
Not great. 25.
No, it's 15.
15. Okay.
This is a training,
It's a training dummy
not
with
moving.
30 AC, but not a non-moving training dummy. Yeah. So you hit the training dummy with this axe. You slice into it, and it feels like an easy, clean cut. The axe slashes into the dummy and just leaves a giant slash mark across its chest, but it doesn't do anything special. And then the grung points to the tip again and goes makes like a stabbing motion with it.
All right, I'm going to also stab it.
Sweet. Go ahead and make another attack.
Higher.
Okay, sweet. So as you attack with the stabbing motion, you hear the sound of like searing metal making contact with flammable object because it's just a training dummy. And as you pull the axe away, there is now just a burning hole in the dummy. What this axe is, it's called the fire poker. What it is it's a +1 great axe, but on your turn when you take the attack action, this is a little bit for the future. You can forego one of your one of your normal attacks and trade it in for this stab option. What this does, instead of doing 1d12 slashing damage, you can forego one of your attacks once per turn to do a d12 of fire damage, just to switch up your damage types. And it is a +1 weapon, if I didn't mention that already. That being said, why not? The +1 will add to the fire damage too. Why not?
As it should.
+1 usually adds to the damage also.
Mm-hmm. Anyways, so those are the 2 weapons that.
Damn, these are good
Before you.
weapons. These are nice weapons.
Thank you. I just made them up.
I push him.
push
I do kind of like the pusher.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
call
this
that shoving maul or the maul of shoving?
Maul of
Maul
shoving.
pushing, I think you said.
No. Oh, did you? I thought you said maul of shoving.
It might have
I
been
said
maul
shoving.
shoving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, push keeps coming to that, so.
All right. Then I want the hammer.
All right,
I'm gonna pick up
sweet.
the hammer.
How much gold did you have again?
265.
265. I'm not going to charge you all of it, but.
Yeah, it'd be ass if you did.
Dude, wow, weird. It came up to exactly 265 with the discount, bro.
264.
Yeah, because this is a +1 weapon with an extra effect, you see that Wart turns to Dr. Maul and they converse for a bit. They go, and Dr. Maul turns to you and says, all right, so it seems like he's willing to part with this one for like 200.
Deal.
All right.
Zero haggling.
The Wart. Wart puts on a glove for you and goes to shake your hand then.
I think I'd be fine without it.
You hear the very wet as he takes off his glove and then holds his hand to you.
And I'm gonna shake his hand.
All right, sweet. I think you still need to make a con saving throw.
Yeah, I have advantage on it.
Oh, yes. As a Warforged, you have
He's
advantage
a
against
metal
poison.
person. Yeah.
Yeah. Beef this.
Con save?
Yes.
16.
Okay, 16 passes by plenty. You are fine. So yeah, you shake hands with Grung. He seems pleased that he's able to make contact with somebody who doesn't immediately get sick. I think at this time you pay the man, and Dante, you recover.
Yeah,
and you come back.
I've just been out on the street in the fighters district, violently throwing up.
No. You're still in Antigia's court right now.
Okay, cool. So I'm puking in this marble,
Yeah, you're puking in this like tightly
Opulent.
packed cobblestone road, and yeah, you come back from yakking on the street. While you're out there, you see that there are magic brooms that float around as like animated objects that seem to be infused with a prestidigitation spell, and are like one is stuck right now with you because it tries to clean up your mess like a street sweeper.
I just know you're gonna want to follow me around.
Yeah, and then
man.
you throw up again, and then then it like sweeps up again, and it just stays near you for the time being,
Hey, Dante,
until
make a
you
new
recover.
friend.
I will name him George.
Yeah, it follows you into the shop. So yeah, you get your +1 maul.
Should probably write that down,
Yep.
huh?
A maul, by the way, is 2d6 damage. And then since it's a +1 weapon, you would add +1 to your attack rolls and damage rolls. And then it also comes with the added ability that you can...
Is there a
Shove a
DC to
creature
the
on hit.
shove or?
No.
Oh, all right.
Just once per turn as a free action, you can hit him and move 5 feet.
Wait, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's actually
Yeah.
insane.
Oh, yeah, we'll see how
Nah,
it
you
comes.
might need a DC.
No. It's only once per turn. It's only once per turn. It's kind of like a mini crusher feat, just without the extra stuff that comes with it, like critting and everyone has advantage on that target. So it's like you get like the half crusher feat. So Simon gets his brand new weapon, and Dr. Ma goes, "All right, gang, so that was Simon. I think the three of you, since you're looking for something a little more specialized, it might be better if we all head to the Grand Bazaar. That place, you can find just a little bit of everything, especially since we're looking for wands that aren't really related to wizardry magic." When she points to Morgan.
Yep.
Can I be a little specific about what I would like?
Yeah, sure.
Honestly, I think, well, maybe I don't know, but I feel like maybe what I'm looking for might be found in Antigia's court here. So I have this vision of like armor that looks like a blouse, just like a normal everyday blouse.
Dr. Ma thinks, and at their moment, she's like, "Unfortunately, I don't know if Antigia's court's gonna have what you need. We're more on the side of just we're wizards. Sure, the magic that we create can be beautiful, but we're more worried about the functionality overall, especially when it comes to weapons and armor. We don't think it needs to be all that pretty. We're not the fashionistas here. That's why I suggested the Grand Bazaar might be the better option."
I see. Do you think the Grand Bazaar would have something like that?
Oh, yeah. So Oscari's court is kind of a bazaar in itself, but what I mean by Grand Bazaar is that that location, there's a certain area in Oscari's court called the Grand Bazaar, and that has some of the, I don't want to say higher end dealers, but some of the more well-known merchants in Novea. Those people have earned their spot as some of the most respected dealers. So yeah. Dr. Ma also posits, she's like, since you only saw Oscari's court and Antigia's court, if you want, we could take the long way and go around and see the other courts. Since you're going to be here for the day, you might as well make the most of it. But if not, we can head right to Oscari's court and get to the Grand Bazaar.
I mean, how late are the shops open usually at the Grand? Are they like 24/7?
Oh, it's 24/7.
Oh,
wow.
always a fight
Yes, they are.
happening.
Oh, yeah. They get more popular in the evening. Again, no one's allowed to bet on them, but it's still a form of entertainment. Combat sports are fun for some people.
And we're allowed to say no if someone challenges us, right?
Yes, especially since you aren't merchants. Usually it's the merchants who are fighting over spots, let's say, in the Grand Bazaar. Sometimes people can be challenged for their spot if they have enough reputation. And if that person says no, the person being challenged, it could hurt their reputation a lot and kind of still get their opponent the result they were looking for.
Wait, so they're fighting for stakes, but you're not allowed to bet on it?
The people who watch aren't allowed to bet on it.
Okay.
The people who participate in it obviously are fighting for some sort of stake. So anyways, yeah. Dr. Maw posits that to you guys. She's like, you guys can check out the other courts if you want. I can take you around the whole city. It'd be a little bit of a walk, but we'll probably still get to the Grand Bazaar a couple hours to spare before sundown.
Yeah, I'm not against it. It'd be nice to see around the place, I guess.
That's true. Yeah.
All right, cool. I got 2 answers out of 4. We'll just count that as a majority.
I'm in the back swinging at the training dummy still.
Dude, that thing is like turning to mulch.
Simon,
He's
you get
knocked
back
it
there?
all the way across the room over time.
Yeah. Actually, Dr. Maw says, okay, 2 in favor, and Dante counts as whatever I want right now. So, Dante counts for whoever, because he is Dante.
He is
I'm
Dante.
going to interpret that as I'm agreeable.
Yes.
Cool.
You're a malleable guy.
I'll get along with anyone with how malleable you are, I guess.
Dr. Maw hops on her flying broom, and once you guys are ready, she heads back out past the area with all the artificers and weapon crafters and blacksmiths, and you guys reach the edge of Antigia's court on the opposite side. So it's just a massive archway. There's no gates in between areas. There is a gate just in case some sort of emergency happens and, people, areas need to be closed off. But she stops at the gate and gets off her broom and reminds you guys, all right, got to dismount here. The flying brooms only work in Queen Antigia's court.
Thank God.
So, what?
What? Sorry, I was just listening. I was listening to what you were saying.
Yeah. So we're going to have to walk from here.
Good for exercise.
Yep, get your steps in. So she walks with you guys through the gate, and you find yourselves in Ravi's court, the human paladin? Is that what I said?
Yes.
Okay. You find yourself in Ravi's court. You walk through the gate with Dr. Maw, and you step into King Ravi's court, the human paladin. Just like the difference between Antigia's court and Oscari's court, the difference between King Ravi's court and Queen Antigia's court is very drastic. So, King Ravi's court is where most religious people live and worship their various deities. A little bit about Ravi. Ravi is a paladin who, above all else, wants people to have faith. Therefore, he has churches dedicated to most deities in Abraya here in his court. Obviously, we're excluding the evil ones, with some exceptions made to the gods whose followers range from, evil to neutral, but those ones are usually a little bit under a bit more of a watchful eye, just in case. As you make your way in, you see that the roads here, instead of being this tightly packed cobblestone and giant wizard's towers everywhere, the roads are made with ivory and white are 2 different colors, are made with ivory marble along the road that is constantly being cleaned in a similar fashion to Queen Antigia's court, where there are magic brooms around. But these roads are being maintained by worshippers. Usually you see a church dedicated to a specific deity, and the worshippers of that deity come out and clean this area and keep it as pristine as possible as a form of worship. There are a few notable features outside of the beautiful the beautiful ivory marble roadways, and a lot of structures are made in the same way with columns and pillars and all that stuff. Some important features of King Ravi's court. The first one is a massive aqueduct. So King Ravi's court is the start of a giant aqueduct that provides water to the entirety of Novea from the Basal Bulb Mountains. It branches off in various different routes and paths to provide water to everywhere. The aqueduct branches off in a million different ways, and it's similar to draw a comparison, the Umashu delivery chutes in Avatar. The other feature about King Ravi's court that you notice is that it is noticeably flat. You can practically see in a straight line until you hit the curve of the walls. The only buildings that have any sort of elevation to them compared to the street or the ground level are the church buildings. These are the only places outdoors, or these are the only places you'll find even stairs going to something in King Ravi's court. With the theory being that above the gods, sit
Gods
above.
are above all, yeah.
Gods are above all of us. As you continue to walk your way through, Dr.
Check I
Mob,
can fly.
yeah, Dr. Mob points out all the various deities and gives you basically this like tour that I'm giving you. And you feel as you move between churches that overall the area feels really pleasant. You get the scent of like fresh water as it flows overhead, and the air itself feels pleasant to anyone who experiences it, almost as if the gods themselves want you to feel comfortable as people so dedicatedly worship them. Church bells can be heard from everywhere, and as you move around, it almost feels like the deities want their worshipers to feel comfortable, but comfortable can mean something different to different religions. So there are some churches where you feel that like nice calm breeze, and occasionally you pass one that there is a small storm cloud right above the church, and it's actually like drizzling or raining right above them for storm god, like the storm deity, like Thassa. There is one other detail about this place that Simon would know about. Simon, this is where Mystic Metal took place.
Oh.
Mystic Metal took place underground underneath King Ravi's court.
Oh, that's kind of sick. Yeah.
Wait, that's so interesting.
Oh, yeah.
just 'cause
Who's
you're
gonna
not allowed
think
to
it's
bet in
here?
Ascari's court.
Yep.
Right, exactly. You would assume that it would be Ascari because of all the fighting and stuff. That's so interesting.
Whoa, weird.
You're not allowed to
It's-
bet there. So.
Believe it or not, it's on the opposite end of that kingdom or that court.
And you're not allowed to build up, but you're allowed to build down.
You're allowed to build down. Simon, as you're walking through the court and Dr. Maul is explaining all this stuff and like talking about the aqueduct and talking about all the various religions that are worshipped here, it almost sounds like Dr. Maul is proud of Novea, even if this isn't like the court that she lives in. She goes and explains all this stuff. And Simon, I think as she continues to go on and on, you not get distracted, but you have these thoughts about this is like where Mystic Metal took place. This is kind of where you worked. But as you do, go ahead and make a perception check. I'll say you can do it with advantage because this was not your domain, but
Oh my lord. Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. Oh, great. On a 20, I'll give you a few things. So you pass under the overpass of an aqueduct and you get hit with that little bit of shade as the sun comes down on you, or I guess the opposite of that. As the sun's bearing down on you, you pass under a section of the aqueduct and are shaded from the sun for a moment. And as you pass over this location, at the far end of this archway, this like overpass arch, you see an entrance to the underground areas. A lot of the aqueduct like maintenance areas were used as a way to get underground and get to Mystic Metal. Those places since then have been closed off, but on a 20, you notice that this maintenance hatch or like this maintenance door is unbarred. It's like not unattended, but it doesn't seem like any protection is stopping anyone from getting into it. And you also noticed with that 20, for just a brief moment, you see the door shut as if someone just went in there.
Ooh, clocked it.
Yes. Something you may not have gotten on a 20 or anything less than a 20. Yeah.
So while Dr. Ma is giving this tour, and I'm fully unaware of what just happened, Dante's just gonna ask like, so the king here, King Ravi, right?
Yes, King Ravi.
He's like a holy man himself. Is there like a state-sponsored religion here, or
State sponsored?
Like, like obviously the king would favor his deity.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Common misconception. King Ravi doesn't actually worship any one deity, at least not anymore, from what I know. I'm sure he did in the past, but I think he, throughout his adventures, hit a level of enlightenment, so to say, where he doesn't worship any deity, he just worships faith. King Ravi just wants people to believe in a higher power, as he does. But for him, his higher power is the umbrella of faith and belief. From what I know of King Ravi, that's why he has brought in so many churches into his court. He just wants people to believe. Of course, there are some limits to that. If you're worshiping an evil deity, I don't think he will respect that you do, but will not have it in his court because that could be a danger to the majority of the people in his court and Novea as a whole.
Okay. I was just wondering,
Oh, okay.
The idea of a state-sponsored sect or religion, not entirely kosher, I think. So it's nice that it's like freedom of religion here.
It's a very wise statement coming from you, Dante.
Huh?
Good for you.
Thanks.
Yeah. Anyways, I think Dr. Mal just goes, yeah, it would be bad if someone told you what to believe in. Duh. And then moves on. I no longer agree with you. I pivot and go the opposite direction. Just because it's Dante.
Yeah, just because it's Dante. It's like, it can't be a good idea.
I would like to see if, like, on our journey, I walk past any churches of Saloon.
Yeah.
Just vandalize them.
Yeah.
No,
I was gonna say
I'm not going to vandalize it.
I'll leave it to you. Do you want to roll
Snatch
dice?
from the donations.
No, it's okay. We're not. Do you want to roll dice? I was gonna say ask you for a religion check, but I was like, I don't even think that's fully necessary here. I think as you kind of wonder about Saloon, which I think is interesting because instead of wondering about like Farlawn, as you pass through the court,
it's almost like stalking your ex on Instagram, where it's
How's
I'm not
how's she
interested.
doing?
I'm not
How's she
interested
doing?
anymore. But like, what do they have to?
Are they suffering?
Are they? Yeah. Are they?
Do they miss me? Does it look like they miss me?
Yeah.
Considering I also am a worshiper of Saloon, can I also see if there's a Saloon church around? Probably
absolutely.
not a stalker, though, but, more curious.
All right,
So-
those two go find their deities.
Not her deity.
Well, they're
My ex.
Yeah.
My ex.
So Joelle and Morgan take a look around to see if they can find the church for Saloon. And as you walk through the court, towards the end, towards the like archway that leads to the fourth and final court that you haven't seen yet, there is a church to Saloon. It's
Did they just walk off? Like
no,
them
you
two
guys are
alone?
walking.
Okay,
You actually,
I was just making sure they didn't
Yeah.
walk off by
I'm
themselves.
assuming you
Yeah,
guys
I
keep
don't
your
think-
eyes out.
Yeah, I don't think it's like purposefully seeking out a church for Saloon, but like as we're walking, like
Yeah.
you
No,
know,
what if we just
look
bump
at-
into
what if
Saloon?
we
What-
just
bump
bump
into
into
Saloon's
Saloon?
church?
What if I just key this temple?
Oh my god.
Featuring keys against marble.
I would make you roll like a divine intervention roll, but with it being you have to roll
A net.
lower.
to not get noticed.
Yeah, you'd have to roll. You'd have to do the divine intervention roll for something bad to not happen to you. Not something disastrous, but you would, to vandalize a church.
Oh, to
Yeah.
vandalize a church. I was like, you're having me do that right
No.
now.
To
I don't
find
even,
the church.
I don't
DC
even have
65
that, I don't
weapons
think
check?
So.
So, anyways,
68.
68. Yeah, you get closer to the end of King Ravi's court, and you find the Church of Saloon. The Church of Saloon is rather large, but it's not the biggest church you have seen. As you enter it, as I mentioned before, there's like a different definition of comfort depending on the deity and the worshippers of that church. Saloon being goddess of the moon and follows the domain of the twilight domain. It almost feels like as you walk through her area, like a cool fall evening. You feel like a gentle breeze and an air that's like slightly chilly, but it is almost calming in a way. It gives you this feeling of like peace as you walk through.
It's like when I do feel that, it's such a like bittersweet feeling because it like reminds me of the night my son was born because he was a fall baby,
Of course.
of course. And so when I feel that like almost fall chill in the air, it just reminds me of Jude.
Mm.
Ain't that the baby you lost?
Didn't lose him. Okay.
Damn.
Misplaced.
Yeah.
No, he's with his father.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you let these like feelings wash over you as you feel the climate change of Saloon's area. From what you can gather, as you look at the church, both Joelle and Morgan, the Church of Saloon seems to do really well here. It seems to be one of the more popular churches. It has, I mean, if we're going by size equals, not influence, but just size of the church equals its amount of worshipers, this is probably up there in some of like the top 10 deities. So Saloon's doing well here in Novea. everyone can worship the night in some degree.
It's very nice in here. Biggest church of Saloon I've ever been in.
Oh yeah, the Walden Church for Saloon is so tiny.
Yeah,
You
like,
had,
I'm used to like these really small churches. Joelle obviously has been to way bigger ones.
Yeah. Oh, the church in Walden was a church for everything. Like there was like one church that people like, if the people who had worshipers there, or like there was a pastor for that deity, they had it on that day. You know what I mean? And at that time, yeah. You had to like book the church almost, or like the most popular ones like Saloon. They were like, okay, so every Tuesday at 5, worshipers of Saloon meet up and we have a service. Essentially, is how it would go in Walden, compared to every deity getting a church here.
Like a whole cathedral.
Yeah, yeah. Depending on the church, so Saloon definitely has like cathedral status.
How does it compare to the size of my church back in Brill?
I think the Church of Saloon in Brill is smaller in the way that if we keep going by like popularity as a determinant of size for a church, the Church of like Thassa in Brill is probably the most popular one because she's the god of like tempests, or she's like the goddess of like sea and storms. So she was the most popular one because Brill was a port town. But Saloon was popular enough on its own and stayed popular because as the Twilight Domain cleric, a lot of people navigate using the stars
Okay.
while
Yeah.
out at sea. So while not as massive as this church is, still popular and still sizable.
Okay.
Anything else from Joelle or Morgan?
Are you guys stopping inside, or are we just walking past it?
Ooh, I feel really tempted to go inside.
Oh, what's your new boyfriend gonna think?
What
new
is
boyfriend?
Farlon?
what is Farlon gonna think?
Oh, not
no.
my boyfriend.
You're
My
checking
God.
you're checking up on your ex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a red flag.
Kind of a red flag.
I thought you deleted his number.
If I just run
Her
into him
number.
on the street,
Run it.
Run into his church.
And yes, we're getting coffee next week, but it's just to see what's been going on.
it's just for closure.
Oh wow, that really jumps the shark, huh? So yeah, I mean it's up to you guys.
How is Joelle feeling right now?
I don't know. You're playing her.
No,
Yeah,
I
it's
know.
true.
Yeah,
I think it's still interesting that you haven't asked about Farlon. There is obviously a church of Farlon.
That's
here,
what I'm
too.
saying.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be
think,
upset if I was Farlon.
Yeah.
No, I think I spent so much time studying Farlon in prison and like talking to Clara about him and things like that.
I'm
The,
kind of
spark,
over
the
it.
spark just isn't there anymore.
Wow.
No.
You know, well,
It's not that at
I'll just-
all.
Okay.
Morgan
just Morgan walks in.
What?
Okay. Well, Morgan doesn't have any reason to have like any apprehension towards going into the church, so that makes sense. I think Dr. Maul is walking and just goes, okay.
Oh, sorry,
I
I'm
There
back.
was Morgan.
I think if I do see Morgan walk in, I might be like, oh, let me go with you. A buddy system, you know?
Oh, yeah, sure.
All right, great.
I think Dr. Maul looks at you guys and is like, are we supposed to wait outside or?
I mean, you guys can come in too. I don't see the problem.
I mean, yeah, I guess.
I'll stay out here.
I was like, you can tell that Dr. Maul has no opinion on Saloon at the very least. She probably obviously she recognizes that the gods are real, but she probably doesn't worship Saloon, so she's just like, nah, I'm good.
All right.
Not
sounds good.
my basket.
Dante doesn't. Dante does not believe the gods are real.
What? Dr. Maul says, I am a magic science driven person, but the gods are real, Dante. And that's the conversation we have while you go into the church.
Dante's gods don't make mistakes, and yet here I stand.
Wow. Comedy club special.
Yeah.
Simon,
God's
are you
mistake.
outside?
Wait, did Dr. Ma stay? Is Dr. Ma staying outside?
Dr. Maul's outside with Dante right now.
I was hoping she'd go in.
I think there will be room in the future. I think she's not going to be with you the entire time. You
Okay.
can always
I can just distract her.
once you guys like go to like a place to stay for the night, Dr. Maul's not going to be there. So you can do whatever you want.
No, I'll stay outside.
Okay. Sweet. So you two, Dante and Simon, stay outside with Dr. Maul while Morgan and Joelle head inside. Everyone roll initiative now.
Everyone.
It's the
Saloon's
same
not
pairing.
happy about
Yeah,
the
it's
ex
the same
coming in,
parents.
apparently.
Oh, wow, yeah.
So you enter the Church of Saloon. I don't want to say that the church itself is like Gothic, but it's darker in here. It seems like almost like if the lights had a dimmer to them, the lights are turned kind of low. The atmosphere in here is always this feeling of a transition between day and night. The ceiling is high above you and has a huge arch, and you can see the slight twinkling of little dots in the ceiling to signify stars. But as the ceiling goes, as you enter, it starts off as like this orange hue and fades into a purple and black towards the front end where the altar would be. There are pews on either side of you, a massive set of rows. So there's plenty of seating for you. Inside, there's not too many people. It's not really that time of day for saloon worshipers to come and pray. They usually pray during the twilight hours as day turns to night. But there are a few people here who just, like Morgan and Joelle, who just pass by and are like, well, I've got a moment, so I've made a moment.
Yeah.
So I could come in here and just offer a quick prayer. Yeah.
I look up at the ceiling, and is it like a mural up on the ceiling of like the sunset fading into the night?
Yeah, it's definitely like a painting. It's not like a natural transition of color.
Okay. I think as I look up at the ceiling and see this like mural that's up there, I'm just reminded of the words of Farlon, of how like the horizon isn't the end. Like on top of the mountain, you'll see your new goal, and just this picture of like the horizon fading from like dusk time to night. Those words like are going through my mind.
Okay. Yeah. Morgan, anything speaking with you here when you enter the church?
Well, considering the recent events with my father and still boiling on the inside a bit, I decide to make a prayer to Saloon to try to at least help me through this a little bit.
Strike him down.
I think I'll ask you both to make a religion check here. And Morgan, since you follow Saloon, I'll let you do it with advantage.
All right. Yeah, I was actually going to do a full-out prayer.
If you want to say a prayer and offer it, then absolutely. And then I'll let you have advantage so it sounds cooler and you did it.
Yeah, it sounds good.
Yeah, well, let's have Morgan do his prayer real quick.
All right.
Offer one up. That's so cool that you wrote one.
Yeah.
Wrote. It's off the dome, baby.
I'm spitting this shit raw.
It's actually pre-recorded. He's gonna just
he holds up his phone.
Yeah, hold up.
He does this with his phone.
Just I'll put my hands together and then say, Saloon, thou with radium bloom, mend my heart with threads of silver, heal me with drops of morning dew, and soothe my soul with softest star glow.
Oh, that was really good. Wow.
kind of a slant rhyme.
That
but
was
we take
okay. Listen, you don't even believe the gods are real. Yeah. That was really, let him have his moment. That was awesome. Yeah, for sure. Make a religion check with advantage as you offer this prayer to Saloon. That was really cool.
All right. Thank you.
Sweet. I was going to say, instead of this being like an intelligence check, because you're not trying to like recall like specifics about a religion, this can be like a wisdom check if that's better for, let's say, our cleric.
Yeah.
Because it would be or if intelligence is better for you, I'll let you like decide if you want it to be intelligence or wisdom.
All right. So we can for the religion, can we use wisdom or intelligence for the check? You were saying?
Yep.
Okay.
You can pick either one.
In that case, I got a 18.
18. Okay.
I got an 11.
Deserved.
11.
I'm sorry.
The number was not even out of my mouth.
You were so quick to be like, maybe I should take a look at what my ex is doing.
And then
you walk into your ex's house, not thinking about your current relationship, and then the first thing you do when you get in your ex's house is you go, yeah, my new relationship kind of he kind of
Farlon would like those drapes,
Farlon was kind of spitting when he said that.
Oh my goodness. So we'll go with the 11 first.
Okay.
As you look up at this mural, as I mentioned, some of the like stars that are painted up there do twinkle with some sort of magical light to them. And as you think about the teachings of Farlon here in the Church of Saloon, almost like in response to those thoughts, the stars twinkle overhead closer to you. But that's about all you get.
Oh.
It's not like the stars move. It's just the stars that are directly above you are the ones that start like sparkling.
Interesting. I think, ooh, when I see them sparkling, my first instinct is like, okay, well, this is the church's saloon, so that's gotta be some saloon bullshit.
Saloon be on one.
I'm taking those stars with me.
Now Saloon's on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I think I look up and just like without even realizing, I think, just like without a thought, I go, why? I don't even know why anymore. Why did I believe? It seems so foreign now.
Are you saying this out loud or are you thinking this to
No,
yourself?
I'm just thinking this to
Okay,
myself.
cool. So I was like, you're in a church with, there are some people
No,
praying,
no,
including Morgan, and you just are dogging.
Why did I believe in you?
No, just in my head.
The twinkling stars is like when you see your ex and then they give you a hug for a little bit too long, and it's like, what is this energy?
Yeah. What an interesting what an interesting reaction. All right, cool. Yeah, you have that moment for sure. And then just as quickly as the stars above you specifically started twinkling, they return to their normal pattern of just twinkling all over the roof. And then Morgan, as you offer your prayer on an 18, I'm assuming close your eyes as you offer this prayer,
Yeah.
right? You see, you don't have a vision or anything like that, but as you close your eyes, it's almost like when you rub your eyes too hard and you see stars, you get that thing, but without the unhealthy effect of rubbing your eyes too hard. You almost see the twinkling of lights in the distance as you offer this prayer. And you feel a little bit more, you feel this feeling of calmness wash over you, not peace, because you're going through some turmoil
It's not
right now.
peace, but a calmness.
Yeah, you just feel like a calming wave come over you as these lights twinkle in your vision as you pray.
Sounds good.
That's good.
I see you.
I see you. Yes, Lynn, I see you.
I am very glad to have a bit of a sense of calmness come over me. Better to focus as well to what needs to be done, especially when it's to take down my father in the future. But, good sense of calmness. As I then get up and turn back to where I guess Joelle is.
If you guys are ready to go, then I'll just say that you guys head back out of the church. Dr. Ma is probably in this full spat with Dante now about whether or not the gods are real. While Simon, I'm sure, is just watching disappointedly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just see that Dr. Ma says, well, what you almost missed was me throttling him. So, let's move on. And she guides you to the edge of King Ravi's court. Here, you see another large archway bridging off to the final court that you guys haven't seen. Through the gate, you can see lots of trees and pathways made of fresh earth and dirt roads. So as you guys walk through, Dr. Ma says, and finally, we have Queen Terra's court. Queen Terra is a druid, and I think her court reflects that very nicely. As you guys make your way in and just kind of begin to explore the area, you see a lot of, unlike King Oscari's court, where the dirt was packed tight and kind of dusty, the roads here are made of a lot more of a softer earth. It's not as dusty, and yet even though you're walking on this soft earth that has a little bit of moisture to it, your shoes come off clean every time you take a step. There are trees everywhere, and to that extent, you see that most homes in this area are made in the trees. As you walk by, you see a couple carpenters put their hands on the tree and whisper something to it as if they're asking the tree what they can take from it and what would work for the tree. Almost like these people are casting some sort of version of speak with plants, essentially. The trees respond in kind to the carpenters communicating with them and offer certain branches or not gesture, but sometimes the branches of the tree will point to certain sections where it would be best to build off of them. You see that some of the tree houses are connected via bridges, but it seems like those people are either shops that are connected and out of convenience, or people who have close connections to each other, like family or really close friends who their houses are connected to each
Or
other.
historical roommates are just have
Yes.
those connected houses.
Oh, for sure. It's you get this feeling of just like very communal, not just between people, but between people and nature. And to that end, there's also animals just everywhere. None of them are running rampant, but as you're like walking down the roads, you see that there are just elks crossing and going off to graze somewhere.
Just based off of what I see, does it look like it would be bad form to pet the animals?
You're more than welcome to make like an animal handling check.
Sure. I guess Dante will just reach into his pack, pull out whatever food might be in there. It's probably several days old.
All right.
And
Okay.
try and beckon one of the elks over.
It's a pretty good roll.
How do you, my friend, feel about a 7?
Yeah. With 7, it's not so. I will say there was no room for catastrophic failure. There,
I get gored by an elk.
yeah, a gourd donkey kicks the fuck out of you. But as you go to try to pet one of these elk as they walk by, it kind of looks at you, and then without any sort of like aggression or just like any sort of emotion, it just turns back and continues to walk with its group.
Yeah, that tracks.
Later on, you look past down the road and you see that there's like a dryad there that just like touches the elk and it accepts.
I thought you were going to say you see that the elk turns into a druid or something.
I thought you were going to say that the elk like walks on a little bit and then turns to another elk. And
That was kind of weird, right?
Yeah. It says out loud. Like, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, like, that was kind of presumptuous.
In common, yeah.
I don't know. So they won't believe
I speak
you.
the language of all creatures.
No, these elk are fully just animals. But it just doesn't
Like me.
it doesn't accept your offer essentially. But further on, you see that like a dryad is petting the elk that you tried to connect with, and it kind of suggests to you that it's definitely possible to, not have these animals as pets, but to commune with them in that way.
Okay, cool. So
you're
it was
simply
just
not that
rejecting
guy.
me
Yeah.
personally.
It wasn't wrong to do that, is what I'm trying to tell you. It just didn't work for you this time.
You're not that guy.
You're
bro.
not him.
You're not that
You're
guy.
not.
Oh, trust me, I know.
Wow. Some other things that you see, or like feel, like, going into the senses again, you smell the fresh earth underneath you, and like all the plant life and the smell of almost like mossy stone as you make your way through this area. The trees are so tall and so big with their canopies that you're protected from the sun in most places.
Thank God.
One of the most
Dante's already burned from walking around.
One of the most noticeable features of Queen Terra's court, though, is the presence of 2 gates. And these aren't normal gates like the ones in between the courts. These are portals. And they're pretty big. So as you walk by the main area, Dr. Mott points out, she goes, so this is like the big charm, at least to me, the big magical charm of Queen Terra's court. The first portal, on the left-hand side, that is a portal to a demi-plane that we were able to create using the crystal's power so that we could have our own farmland. And then next to that, this one's a little more dangerous, but it's supervised by Queen Terra often, is a portal to the Beastlands where we can hunt for food. But the reason why, this is a been there, done that kind of moment. We tried farming in the Beastlands, but we found out the hard way that there is no taming the Beastlands. So, as a solution, we came up with a way to create a demi-plane for farmland. And then she just points back to the castle where the crystal is up there as a shining beacon to the city, and she goes, that thing has worked miracles for us.
Yeah, apparently so. Wow.
And then the last thing you see as you walk past this, it is heavily guarded. Now, this area is like lots of like druid folk and stuff like that, so there's usually not a lot of like metals and steels. But this area is guarded with people with swords and like magic staves and just like all different types of people protecting this thing from both people entering it and things maybe trying to get out of it from the Beastlands. So yeah, as you look off towards the portals, you actually see that Queen Terra is there right now. She's just doing what should be routine maintenance, but she just seems to be sitting next to the portals in a big druid circle. Queen Terra, and Dr. Ma points out Queen Terra. Queen Terra is a Harengon. She's a rabbit folk who has gray and what almost looks like a shade of purple fur. And to you guys, seeing a Harengon on its own is kind of surprising. Harengon are not very common on the material plane. Queen Terra has this like gray and like purplish hued fur, and her crown is made of a lot, instead of being like the regal golden crown that Queen Antigia wore, Queen Terra wears a crown that is made of vines and branches and twigs that are blooming with flowers.
She looks like a girl going to Coachella.
Yeah, for sure. She is wearing a dress still, like some sort of regal gown.
Sitting in the dirt.
Yeah, while sitting in the dirt. Like I said, though, as you walk through this dirt, it doesn't seem to pick up with your shoes or like your boots. She has a long dress that's made of what looks like a lot more natural material, like a lot more natural colors. We got like greens and browns.
Earthy tones.
Earth tones is what I was looking for. Her dress is like made of earth tones. And as you get towards the bottom, it kind of webs out in a way. As you reached like the waist, not the waist area, but like the knee area of the dress towards the bottom.
Flares.
It almost looks like, it flares out and it looks like the like webbing of, there's like a certain mushroom or like, it almost looks like a mesh. I'm trying to think of it.
Mushroom?
I think it's mushroom or whatever.
Is it the mesh room?
I did think
Is that
of
why you were questioning me for the pun?
No, I legit have never heard of
Are you
a
talking about like
mushroom.
the gills on the underside of a mushroom cap or what?
Are you thinking of like?
Oh,
is
no,
it
no, no.
mycelium?
So, yeah, that was what I was thinking of. But actually, I'm going to change it. So, towards the bottom of the dress, it's still like, it has like this mushroom look to it. It looks like those shelf mushrooms, like kind of like swirl around her towards like the waist downwards. So her dress towards the bottom has like levels to it that look stiff despite her sitting, and it like moves in freely around her. But yeah, she is just sitting in a druid circle, eyes closed, with a bunch of other druids. And this area, the grass has been like depressed in a way that it seems like they do this often. Queen Terra, whether this is Queen Terra doing her job or not is up for debate, but at least she's here just in case something were to go down. And that's the big features. It's like the feeling you get from Queen Terra's court.
Is the druid circle next to the portals?
Yeah, it's next to the portal area. Outside of the range of, like, outside of the guards area, they're not just, like, in that circle.
Okay.
Queen Terra sits outside of the
Oh, so the guards, okay, the guards are for the portal.
Yeah.
And then they're just druid circling over there for fun.
The way the portal's area is set up is almost like it's towards the back end of Queen Terra's court, but Dr. Ma went out of her way to show this to you guys.
Gotcha.
Because she likes magic, but it's almost against the walls of the city, but there's an extra wall that kind of makes like an arched building around it with an open face to enter and exit from. And you see lots of people coming and going from the farmland area for work and doing the same thing for like the beastlands. But yeah, Dr. Ma speaks up and he goes, so this is Queen Terra's court. People here usually sell a lot of different stuff for like spell components or non-metal tools, weapons, armors, and stuff like that, if that fits your fancy. But it seems like what we're looking for is going to be in the Grand Bazaar. I just wanted to show you this one especially because I think magic's really cool and giant portals are really cool.
I'm going to point at Queen Terra and the druid circle and just ask, what are they doing over there?
She takes your hand and puts it down. Hey, she's a lot cooler. She's a lot more relaxed than Queen Antigia. She's still a queen. Please don't point at her. Pointing is sometimes what people do to choose the target of a spell.
I'm gonna say to Dr. Ma that's crazy because I can't cast spells.
You know,
and then I'm gonna point to again.
I would say that is I'm willing to bet you can't. No offense. The guards may not make that assumption. But yeah, to answer your question, is she supposed to be doing that? You know, there's a certain amount of she is the queen. She can kind of do whatever she wants that I have to respect. There haven't been any incidents after we made the separate demiplane for farmland, so she's keeping the area safe one way or another.
And what is it that she's doing?
Not my circus, not my monkeys. Turns to a monkey.
You know
no
what?
offense.
Been there, tried that. I sat in a grass circle once here, and I didn't really feel anything. But what I'm assuming, based on what other people have told me, is that she's communing with nature. She puts in quotes because she doesn't relate to this at all. But yeah, as far as I can tell, she's talking to the earth.
Got it.
All right. Any other questions? I don't have any jokes. Sorry. I know this is like kind of a tour, but I don't have any like funny quips. I'm just not that kind of person.
Can.
You know what? Hey, let's move on.
May I listen to your jokes?
She like Dr. Maul puts up a hand. She's shorter than you though, as this like little goblin woman. But she tries to like cover your face to just be like, all right, not him.
I'm not that much further up than her. She
That's
probably
true.
could get there.
She's probably like a solid 2'8".
Yeah.
She's just a small little gal. She just puts her hand up. All right, moving on. How about that Grand Bazaar, right?
Oh, yeah, we were doing that earlier, right?
Yes, yeah. Sorry, we got a little distracted. Totally Dr. Maw's interest in showing off the other sections of King's Hall or Novea and not the DM himself wanting to do it.
Voice fully shifted.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and not me wanting to do it.
Not
at all.
me wanting this. So yeah, you guys make your way out of Queen Tara's court, and after making the full loop, essentially, because this is like one big circle, you find yourself back in King Oscari's court. Dr. Maw says, all right, you've seen this place. You already know, the long and short of it. You guys, of course, see people just fighting in the streets, settling disputes. There's some refs. There's only like a few there's only like one or two every couple blocks, right? So it's not like it's the most popular thing. Yeah, slow day. Yeah, Dr. Maw's like, not a lot of people fighting today. And she leads you into this almost, it's not underground. The features of King Oscari's court, despite it being like the frontmost one and not against the mountain face at all, there is a giant, like almost like mesa. There's like a large mesa that is like almost, if there was like a town square, this would kind of be it. And as you enter it, there's a giant carving inside of this mesa that leads into a cacophony of sound as there are merchants everywhere and people buying and selling at this like rapid rate. You walk in and Dr. Maw says, "This is the Grand Bazaar." She has to like shout to get over all the voices. She says, "Check your wallets. I can't promise someone's not going to try to pickpocket you. Maybe we all clump together a little bit." And there is on either side of you just rows of shops. There are almost like street blocks. You can walk into the Grand Bazaar and then onto the left or right, it digs deeper into the mesa, and there are more shops that line that. The biggest shops, the most popular ones, are the ones that line the length of the mesa. You can see light at the other end a couple 100 feet away. It's pretty far out. So, Dr. Maw says, all right, so who wants to go first? We're looking for a magic wand. We're looking for clothing armor. We're looking for
whatever catches my eye, I guess.
All right.
Yeah, sure. I'll look for a rod. Sounds fun. I mean, that is pretty much what I'm looking for. Why are you looking at me like that?
Phrasing, Morgan. So yeah, Morgan, I guess we'll start with Morgan. So Dr. Maw leads you around and is like, she almost makes a circle out of you guys around her, like this like diamond formation. So not to protect her, so that if you start to stray, she can grab your shirt and like pull you back to her as like she's like the focal point of this group, so no one gets lost here. Because although it's in this one isolated like formation, there are a lot of different like not alleys but tunnels and different places where shops can be. Now the Grand Bazaar obviously is where the best merchants in the city exist, but like I said, the ones that line the walls or like the main tunnel are the most popular ones with the most clientele and the best reputation for selling good products, which of course increases their prices as you get further out. You don't run into shady or like bad dealers, they just aren't as successful or as massive. I think Dr. Maw leads you through a couple tunnels. And
are there any fights happening in the Grand Bazaar?
Yeah. If there's in the tunnel, there's almost like not a fountain. If like a town square would have a fountain right in the middle of it. Instead of that, there's a big circular dirt like fighting pit. Now this is where like the big disputes are settled. So Dr. Ma leads you guys through a couple tunnels, and you end up at a small, not kiosk, but just like a small section where there are wands on display at like the front end of the shop at a place called Fantastical Focuses. And inside you see, inside is like a relative term because there aren't really like windows here, because there's not really like doors. You kind of just come and go, and no one would be foolish enough to try and steal from any of the people here because they have a reputation, and there would be people who there would be customers who would probably find that person and fight them if they were to steal from anyone in the Grand Bazaar. Everybody knows each other here in the Grand Bazaar, one way or another. But yeah, you end up at Fantastical Focuses, and Dr. Mutt points to him and goes, "This is where I got my wand, so I don't know the guy, can't pull any favors, but we can find you a nice wand, Morgan, if you think this place is to your liking." You look inside, and there is a just hulking man, bigger than Simon. This dude's like 6'8", and he looks like he has to like crouch a little bit to fit in his shop. Too big for his space, but he's sitting at the front desk, like carefully like whittling away at a wand. And he looks up and sees you guys and says, "Oh, come in.
All right. How do you do?
You buy
good
wand,
sir?
yes? Good day. Buy wand, yes?
That's the plan, I guess. Some type of wand-shaped, rod-shaped, whatever type of thing, I guess.
Good. He like takes your hand. He just grabs your hand with both of his.
Oh my.
And oh wow. And he just
Are we gonna kiss?
No, he uses his thumbs to just like press into your hand and get a feel for your hand. It kind of hurts because his thumb is like the size of like a couple of your fingers. Yeah, and he just feels your hand, takes your other hand, feels that one too, goes, yes. Yes. And he points back to you, wand? Staff?
I guess a wand of some sort.
Bracelet? He jingles his wrist as a bracelet.
I think you're losing the bass in your voice.
Oh, yeah, it's going up.
I mean,
Yeah.
I guess if it gets something that
Bracelet?
bracelet, not against that either.
He's just excited. He's just an excitable guy. We're going up again.
We're getting back to small guy.
No.
Big
Small
guy,
voice.
small guy energy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
big guy, small guy entry.
The trope works every time. Yeah, so he gets up and there's like a couple rows of shelves behind him, and he grabs a couple things, almost like a row of like shoe boxes.
Yeah.
And he pulls out a couple different wands, and he gives you one to just like test. And he just goes, "Go ahead."
Oh, okay.
Just waves his hand around as if to like flick it to do some sort of magic with it.
Sure, I guess. I assume no destruction magic, right?
Yeah, you got it.
Okay.
Don't test me. He jingles his bracelet as if that's his spellcasting focus and you would be in danger, as if his bracelet's a threat.
Okay, I'm just asking, you know? Sure. Shape water.
Okay. You shape water in this very dry.
Yeah, there's no
mesa.
water. You have no idea if the spell works.
Okay, you know what? Maybe
You just hear sloshing in the back of just like, yeah.
Dante was taking a sip and oh god.
Yeah.
Oh, it jumped down at me, I swear.
Yeah, you paid, you like overpaid for like a water bottle and
12 gold.
Goodness.
I guess I should pay it.
I'm thirsty, man.
That is the price.
I'm thirsty. So yeah, he watches the magic happen and goes, no, special magic. And he goes back, he goes into a different section and pulls out another shoebox, and he opens it for you. Morgan, what would you want your spellcasting focus to look like? Other than, you have the gun, but like, what would you want another accessory to magic to you to look like?
That is a really good question. I didn't think I would get this far.
It's a keyblade.
I'm assuming it
It's a
can't be a
holster.
weapon or anything. It's an actual just spell focus, right?
Guns don't exist, but they do have holsters.
Yes.
I'm wondering if I could get an attachment for the gun to like put them together since it's a spell focus. That would be all right to keep it in theme.
Oh.
Attachments for something they didn't know
Puts
existed.
the stick in the gun
I
barrel.
can justify this. I can get there.
Just get a replacement barrel for the gun.
Oh, yeah. So here's what I'll say.
Loads the wand in his ammunition.
Just sticking out so far.
It's like one of those prop guns when it says bang.
Yeah, bang.
That
Magic
far.
the flag.
You know, like the gun, the focus I have right now, the gun is like I can just pop out the barrel, put in the axe in its place.
Yep. So yeah, you open up this box and you see a wand that, aside from having just like a wooden, aside from just being like a wooden stick essentially, this one has a base made of metal. You can almost hear like the ticking of like machinery in it. And he goes, special magic for you. And he gives you the wand, and as you hold it, it feels a lot more natural to you than perhaps the other wand that you were just kind of like waving around.
Yeah.
And he goes, special magic for you. Secret. And as you hold the wand and you hold your gun in your hand, Im-ferro actually speaks up, and he says, that feels familiar.
Wait, it feels familiar?
Yes, give it to me. I think he says, I think he's more interested in the like base, that has like some sort of mechanical working to it. So he goes, the hilt of the wand. There's something familiar about it.
Oh, all right. What is it? A revolving cylinder, you know? That's like a
Something
revolver.
like that. Hey, who knows?
That is actually a pretty easy piece to take off of, funnily enough.
Yes. So what I think happens then, if you try to connect the base of the wand at least to the gun that you have,
Yeah.
there's like a small glow that happens that you guys can all see. And even the shopkeeper is like, special magic.
You know your stuff.
It glows with like, not so bright that you're blinded, but it glows, and then the base of the wand gets assimilated to the gun. And when the effect is, when light fades, you can still hear the slight ticking of the gun as you hold it, as if like the mechanical piece was added. And the hammer of it is now like the thumb, the hammer of the revolver is now the bottom of the wand hilt. So that's what you would like pull back when you go to fire.
Yeah.
And he goes, special magic. I knew it. You do have to pay though.
Yeah. I kind of
In perfect comment, you gotta pay for that, right?
Yeah. Now let's talk prices. I think I'll give you the same deal that Simon got. Sorry, I'll give you, Morgan, the same deal that Simon got, and I'll give this to you for 200 gold. So what this is Rod of the Pact Keeper. What this will do is give you a +1 to your spell attack rolls and damage, as well as a +1 to spell save DCs. Actually, how much do you have, Morgan? 250 total?
265.
265? I think this is going to run you 250.
I had 255.
This gives you a little
actually,
extra.
which I have.
A lot.
Man, I got a
255?
fancy hammer, and this man gets us a gun part.
Yeah.
Yeah, and do you know how much that gun part added?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, I'll still pay the 250, but I do only had 255.
Yeah, I think it's gonna end up costing you the whole 250 because that's a +1 to several things. That's really solid.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, you get this. He kind of runs you dry, but
I got 5 gold left.
he gets you that 250.
But your gun already ate the wand, so now you have to pay for
Yeah,
it.
now you have to pay for it. Yeah, hey, who knows how often he runs this game with other people and other magic items. And Im-ferro takes this and goes, this small piece belonged to me.
Did they sell your parts across the city?
Im-ferro can't shrug, but just says, I don't know. But with this, this is our first step to remembering. And I think for the first time since he's made this request of you, he just goes, thank you, Morgan. Because, for a while there hasn't been much progress made, but although it's small, it seems like this is a good step towards helping Im-ferro recover. Now, we're not going to say that you're going to rebuild a giant robot from a gun, but a few
One
special parts
tiny
here and
piece
there.
at a time.
Yeah, will
Piece at a time.
Eventually becomes a bazooka.
it may help him unlock memories in the future, and it may help him actually remember important details of his life before you met him.
Yeah.
Sweet. So you get that, and the shopkeep goes, remember, secret. And then the shop disappears.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Wait, so he fought for this spot, and now it's gone?
It's gone. It's just a wall again.
Huh. This is the second time I ran into a place I could have sworn didn't exist before then and did exist.
We're going to tackle that later. But I just want to focus on, did he actually belong here, or was this like a black market deal that we just took part in?
Who's to say,
Secret.
Secret.
You didn't hear him.
Dr. Ma?
Secret.
Yeah, Dr. Ma just goes, wow. Well, I'm going to have some paperwork to do when I go home today. Wait, no, time out. Because she bought her focus from this guy. This conversation. Okay, so what I will say is that this conversation with Im-ferro did happen in your head.
Yeah.
So no one heard, Im-ferro speak or anything like that. But Dr. Ma says, I think Dr. Ma just shakes her head and just goes, well, he's good at what he does, I guess. I've never seen him do that. I didn't know he was that powerful of a spellcaster. Hey, you got what you wanted, right?
Really nice guy,
I don't know
honestly.
what to say.
Moving on.
Yeah, Dr. Ma's like, Dr. Ma hasn't seen anything like illegal necessarily happen. She's just like, I think this is the first time I've ever seen someone close their shop.
Huh. I wonder how much this part would have normally gone for. I mean, I guess I got a good deal on it. I have no idea how much it would go for normally, though. Oh, well.
I mean, he gave you something, you paid for it. It's not like anything illegal happened. He just disappeared.
Wait, so whenever he makes a sale, he just closes his store and then opens up at some indeterminate time in the future?
Yeah, you know what? I haven't seen him more than once to say that.
That is not an effective way to run a business.
I mean, maybe that's why you haven't seen him more than once. You paid for something, he disappeared, and now he reappeared here.
All I'm saying is that he didn't disappear for me, so I feel slighted, It's kind of mean, right?
Anyways, that leaves us with Joelle and whatever Dante feels like having. I think she guides you back to the main area, just kind of like reset and stuff like that. I'll say everyone go ahead and make a perception check as you enter the main area.
It's a 10.
Hey, me too.
Yeah, we both did worse.
Yeah,
okay,
no,
this other
right.
table.
5.
6.
Thankfully, I was just giving it up on a 10.
So we maxed out 10. Well, my passive
Maxed out
perception
at
is
10.
12.
Wow. So what I'll say is, as you guys re-enter the main tunnel of the Grand Bazaar, surprisingly enough, cutting through all of the hustle and bustle and noise of the bazaar itself, you hear one loud voice in particular.
Magic blouses.
No. You hear someone shouting and saying, I can't believe it! I challenge you to a duel! Morgan, or I'm going to say this noise gets everyone's attention. You guys turn, and across the bazaar, you see a man with a very red face, a tall, portly man. He's well over 6 feet tall, but he is very round at the same time. He just is a big bodied person.
Like a blueberry.
But red. He's a very red blueberry.
A beet.
A goji berry.
He's red as a beet. Whoa, you knew stuff.
Wow.
Well, it's a goji berry.
It's like a little red round berry.
Whoa. Anyways, so you see this man, this huge man, large and I'd say in charge, but it seems like he's on the losing end of a conversation. And he is bright red. And you just heard him shout that he challenges this person to a duel. The people around him all look kind of not in surprise, but just like shocked that this guy is even shouting so loud to begin with and being like, oh, ooh, something's going down.
That's mighty aggressive in this place of people fighting.
And I will say, Morgan, since you had the highest roll at a 10, Joelle and Morgan had the highest roll at a 10. You'll understand why I said Morgan first.
He's challenging Morgan.
Yeah. No. So on a 10 being the highest, Joelle and Morgan, you're just at an angle where you can actually see the person he's yelling at. And Morgan, you see a familiar face. You see Jacques.
Yeah.
And Morgan, you would know Jacques as an uncle of sorts who helped you understand and control your changeling powers as you discovered that you had them. So Morgan, you see your uncle Jacques getting challenged to a duel by this person.
Huh, that's not going to go well for him. Probably also check what's actually going on over there.
I'm guessing you head
Yeah,
over
yeah,
there.
I'm going to head over.
Okay, do you guys follow him? I'm guessing.
I mean, presumably.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think Dr. Maw's
Dr. Maw's like,
tight
yeah,
formation,
yeah, yeah.
tight formation. Where are you going?
I go and talk to my uncle, more or less.
Okay.
Oh. What side?
The side I
Well,
prefer.
yeah, which person?
Okay, cool.
The side I prefer. Whoever's posing a better argument at the time.
No, like which side of the family?
Oh, I thought you meant
Whose
which
side are you taking?
Yeah, I thought you meant which side, as in, is he the red guy or the guy getting yelled at? So you guys make your way over there, and as you approach Dante, you also see somebody that you recognize.
Oh God.
At the stall.
So
and
much
as
worse.
you approach, you see a sign that says Annie's Oddities and Antiques. And you see the same person that Morgan sees and recognize him as your uncle as well.
Huh? Huh?
What?
Brother, huh? Oh, that's crazy. My
Whoa.
uncle's also over there.
A lot of people's uncles, honestly. Cool guy.
Yeah. I mean, what uncle?
So as you approach, you see the person who's getting yelled at is a stout halfling person. At least to Morgan, this is what you would
Yeah,
recognize
it's what I
him as
know
the
he
most.
usually
And
looks like, you know?
to Dante, this is just what your uncle looks like to you. So you guys approach, and the guy who is just bright red, after just shouting, "I challenge you to a duel," is like, "I'll get this duel set up immediately. I'm taking your shop and everything that it's worth. How dare you?"
Yeah, I'll just step forward.
Dante stepping forward.
Yeah, I'll just step forward. Hey,
Hey, Uncle John.
hi, person that I may or may not know.
As you say, "Hey, person you may or may not know," surprisingly enough to you, Morgan says, "Hi, Uncle Jacques."
Oh, sorry, wrong person.
But the sign, so there's a couple things wrong here.
Yes.
So as you approach, you say, "Oh, hi, person that I may or may not know." And then when he says Uncle Jacques, you go, "Sorry, wrong person." But even though this is Uncle Jacques to you, there's a sign that says Annie's Oddities and Antiques, which you also see.
He
So
must
you
be around
wouldn't-
here somewhere.
He's probably nearby.
There's probably loads of Annies that sell weird oddities and antiques.
Wow. I think, okay, so
Does
as
he
you guys-
acknowledge us?
Yeah, as you
Okay.
guys approach, and he's like, he sees you guys. He looks at you, Dante, and then looks at you, Morgan, and almost like flicks back and forth and just has a moment of like confusion, not like panic, but just like,
These weren't supposed to go together.
yeah, well, out of just like the look of like out of all people who could have connected with each other.
Bro, why are my A and B friend groups hanging out together? Why are
And
they
without
hanging
me.
out without
And without
me?
me.
Who's A? Who's A?
Yeah. So he just gives that look. He just like looks confused, like that, like almost like an incredulous look. Not that he's like upset about it, but just like, no way. Like out of any two people who could have like connected in some way, it's people who know me as as two different people. And he just goes, "Morgan!" As if he's, he thinks for a long time as if he's trying to figure out which one to talk to.
I did have the wrong person. My
No,
bad.
no.
I'll just
I think even, what's your passive insight?
So that would be 12.
12. Okay. Based on the flub you did earlier today about being so particular about your agreement,
Mm-hmm.
as
That was today.
this person goes to big day, as this person who you maybe thought was your uncle
Yeah.
refers to Morgan first, if this is your uncle, you would think that he is being careful about recognizing you.
Yeah, the
in
fact
the same way
that
that you-
Dante forgot
yeah.
in the moment that he also shouldn't acknowledge this person.
yeah, in the way that you were like, "Oh, I shouldn't acknowledge this person," and in the same way that you also chose not to acknowledge yourself when speaking with
Yeah.
Queen Antigia.
Dante catches himself and goes,
Yeah, so when he goes to talk to
Wait.
Morgan, you're not sure if this is your Uncle Annie, just because you're Dante. But if it is, he's probably talking to Morgan first because he doesn't want to talk to call you out. You would assume that your Uncle Annie knows the score. He knows what happened to you.
So we'll sidebar in private.
Yeah, wait,
successfully.
Would
this
I also
time.
notice
Yes.
that out of all people, Dante was the other person who stepped forward?
Yeah, I would say that. Both you two step forward and say something. So, and then you see the reaction from your Uncle Jacques, who just to clarify, just in case it's not clear enough for those partying at home, Jacques and Annie are the same person.
Oh. Dante, do you know them too?
No.
The
Wrong guy.
The big guy steps up again. Just, this isn't about you. Who are you?
Oh yeah, I really shouldn't get in the middle of this.
And then who I'm gonna just call Yanny for now.
Yanny.
Yanny.
Okay.
Or Laurel, depending.
I was trying to remember what the other name was.
Annie, are you okay?
Annie, are you okay?
Annie is not okay right now. Yanny is not okay right now. Yanny seems like calm and cool about it so far. He's just like letting this guy like flick spit in his face as he talks.
Gross.
Yeah. And Yanny wipes his cheek a little bit and goes, "Hey, if you want a duel, I mean, we can. I just don't have a fighter, so we can always talk about it." And the guy's like, "Well, I want a duel first thing tomorrow. I already have a fighter who's gonna wipe you off this grand bazaar." And Yanny goes, "Okay, well, you know what? If I could get a fighter in time for tomorrow, sure.
Simon would be up
Why
to
don't you go and get a referee to officiate this, and hopefully by the time you come back, I have someone. How's that sound?" And then the big guy pulls like a handkerchief out of his front pocket and is like dabbing his forehead, like all the sweat because he's just so red and angry. And he's just like, "Very well, I'll be back in a few minutes. You better have a fighter by then, or else you're done for." And he just storms off. As he walks, you can like feel the impact of his stomping feet in the ground. Doom, 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 as he leaves. So after that guy storms off, he turns to the like 4 or 5 of you. Dr. Ma's there too. Turns to you guys and goes, "Sorry you had to see that. Morgan, hey." And as he says, "Hey," he points at Dante. Like he makes like a gesture to you, Dante, as if to like recognize your existence, but just doesn't say anything outright. He goes, "So, sorry you had to see that. Seems like that guy really wants my spot, and I don't feel like giving it up. But if for some reason he has some sort of grudge against me, he could challenge anybody else here, but I don't know. So I'm in a bit of trouble. Sorry you have to find me like this.
That's fine.
But you know where I can get a good fighter in a short amount of time?"
Give me a second. Simon. Hey.
He looks at you, Simon, and goes, "A buddy bot, huh?"
Yeah, he's really good at fighting.
Well,
This buddy bot's built different.
I see. You know what? He does have a giant hammer on his back. It's not against the rules to use a bot to fight on your behalf. Maybe just not as popular, but oh well, I need a fighter. So how about it, bud? Simon, was it?
Okay.
Man's been itching to fight since he got here,
Yeah.
and now
All right.
Yeah, now
how about
I
it?
have a lead. And
a
I'm
social
being-
obligation.
Yeah, now I have a lead. I don't even know this dude.
Yeah. I think Yanny then goes, "Oh, great, easy. All right." Well, that solved itself in like a minute. Well, Morgan, who are your friends? How you been?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. These are the people I work with. I'm assuming you know Dante somehow. I'm not really sure. I'm a bit confused on that. That's Simon. He's a buddy bot. That's Joelle over there, and that's Dr. Natron
Hi.
who's showing us around.
Dr. Ma. It wasn't me this time.
Oh, now you gotta run the
Dr.
whole
Ma,
thing
wait,
back.
I don't know why I'm confused. Oh no.
Just give me a raw Dr. Ma.
Dr. Maul. You gotta run the whole thing back. You gotta do that whole thing over.
No, it's okay.
No.
We'll find.
Two
We'll just,
take, no
we'll find a
mistake.
Dr. Ma
Hold
in
on.
there somewhere.
Dr. Ma.
Yes, I know Dante. So,
But like
you
in
know what?
passing, like
You know
very tangentially.
Listen. It doesn't apply to me, right? I know you, Dante Ritrita. You're my
The whole government?
You're my no. I think he's saying your last name as if somehow, some way he knows what your last name is and not
Now,
calling you by
yeah.
your actual last name.
Yeah.
He goes, "I know Dante Ritrita. Well, this is kind of awkward, but just like how I'm your uncle, I'm his
Oh,
uncle."
dang, we're cousins? Crazy. In a weird
Well,
way.
Kind of.
Yeah, I kind of assumed.
I always wanted cousins that didn't hate me.
Wow, that's really depressing to hear about your other cousins.
That's quite the assumption.
Yeah, I don't think Steven hated you. He was just, that age difference was like just big enough that you guys didn't like the same thing at the same time.
In common.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks, guys. Thank you for all. Doesn't know that you're like more sophisticated than a buddy bot. It's like, thanks for offering your buddy bot. You know what? I guess as a special treat, come into my shop real quick. I know I can get you guys something nice for a decent price. Sorry, I can't give it away for free.
That's fine. I got 5 gold. Someone else could probably get something, though.
You know what? Yeah, I think someone else can get something.
Quick question here, Unc.
Yeah.
What should I call you?
Well, to him, I'm Jock. He's pretty open about this. He's just
Okay.
like, oh, whatever.
Zero.
He trusts both of you and therefore trusts the other 3. Dr. Ma is just president. It's like, what is happening?
So I can keep calling you Annie.
Yeah, he's like, Dr. Ma's like, well, there's some complicated family situation going on that he has 2 names. He doesn't reveal the fact that he is a changeling to you guys, and therefore Dr. Ma. But he goes, well, to him, I'm Uncle Jock, and to you, I'm Uncle Annie. So you can just call me Janny.
Okay, Uncle Jonny.
Again, so accepting of the world as it is.
Honestly, just all right. This is how it is.
I thought I was gonna say Yanny, but I was like, this guy would say Janny.
I'll incorporate this into my worldview. Sure.
All right, yeah. All right, cool. Well, to everyone else, I'm Janny now, so I mean, I just pick up names like they're coins on the ground, so whatever. Come on in. And he leads you into the shop. And as he goes in, you see that he like takes a long stick and just like carves into the face of the like rock wall here a J.
So now it's not alliterative.
The alliteration doesn't even work anymore.
Janny's Jartifacts.
Yeah, Jartifacts. He changes
Wait,
it
are
to
all the
Janny's
artifacts
oddities and
jars?
Jantiques. He changes it to Jantiques.
Jantiques is
Jantiques.
phenomenal.
And he goes, all right. Oh, love it. This'll work. As you enter, you see that since he's in the main strip of the Grand Bazaar, his shop is huge. And for a place that's full of antiques and oddities, there's a lot of different things here.
Jantiques and Joddities.
Yeah, no. Oddities is still it's just Jantiques.
Yeah, Joddities would be stupid.
You're right. That was my bad.
Trying to be funny.
Wow. Anyways, called out. So yeah, you meet, you guys head in there, and as you enter, you realize just how massive his storefront is, and also it occurs to you that like for what you guys know of Uncle Janny, it's almost surprising how successful he is, because especially to you, Dante, he's not the like entrepreneur that your father is, and yet here he is in one of the biggest commercial hubs of this part of the world.
With a spot in the Grand Bazaar.
Yeah, with a spot in the main strip of the Grand Bazaar. So he is doing very well for himself. He may not be the entrepreneur type, but he knows how to do business, it seems, and knows how to make sure he lives a comfortable life.
Oh, like an entrepreneur?
Nope. He's just, you know why? He doesn't know how to scale. He doesn't know how to scale like Doran can. Yeah. He's just like, I have this one thing, and it keeps making me money, so I just keep buying better storefronts.
He's a shopkeeper, not a CEO.
Yeah, he's like, I don't keep the shop I left behind. I just take everything with me and put it in the bigger spot, and then keep getting new stuff. But you would know, Morgan, especially because you're like, oh, well, Dante knows this guy is like a success, like a not the most business person in the world, but obviously very smart still about business. Morgan, you would recognize this guy as just like a wanderer. This guy just came and went occasionally through Walden and like saw you and checked in on like how you were doing and just like would look after you on occasion. But this guy always had just like a cart with him that was like wandering around, and every time you saw him, he had something new. So you would think that he wanders the plane, like Abraya, and just picks stuff up, and then maybe he brings it back here and just sells it.
Wandering merchant
Type with a home base. There he goes. Hey, so, you know, like I said, I can't give you something for free, but, you know, who needs something? Who's looking for something? It sounds like you're broke, Morgan.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, that's fine. It's fine. I get it.
But hey, and anybody else looking for stuff?
Yeah, I'm looking for something. I have this vision in my mind of a piece of armor that looks just like a nice flowy blouse. Something that like blends in to the normal everyday wear.
Easy, the blarmer.
The blarmer.
Jacques, like, strokes the small beard and goatee on his chin. So yeah, he listens to what you say, and he goes, the Blarmer. Yeah. I think that's exactly what he does. He goes, oh yeah, Blarmer. You know what? I think I have what you're looking for. And you see that like he just dashes deeper into the shop, and you just hear things being knocked over, and he's just like throwing things. You see the occasional box fly out from like behind a like a wall or something like that. And he goes, I know I left it here somewhere. I think it was, there it is. And then he comes back with like a shirt on a hanger. He's like dusting it off. Just, he's like, I knew, when you put something somewhere and you just, as long as no one touches it, you know where it's at, right? Easy finding. And he shows you what you're looking for. So, Joelle, why don't you describe what you want this, Ashley, why don't you describe what you want this blouse armor, this Blarmer to look like?
I imagine this to be like a pretty plain, just like white silk blouse.
Okay. Just straight to the point. Like it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And he goes, this guy right here, I think this is what you're looking for. Believe it or not, this is armor. It's called the Armor of Weightlessness. I found this one day walking around. That's all you need to know.
That sounds about right.
You see that real quick, like you can't see the backside of the shirt, but he like licks his thumb and like rubs something out of the back of it. Try it on.
Great. I try it on.
Sweet. I think you just like put it right over what you're wearing.
Okay. Yeah, sure.
Wait, you go behind the wall. There's a just pile of stuff. He went back there and there's just a mound of just things.
Cool.
Like just ripped off the shelves. And
Yeah.
has not been put back.
Yeah, I go ahead and try on my Blarmer. And as I do, I just think, like for a quick second, of Clara.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. I got it. Oh, that's cute.
Yeah.
You see a pair of corduroy pants down there too.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the murderer?
Yeah, you're motivated to kill 11 people.
Yeah. But you remember the whole talk where they were like, Clara was like, yes, we are cut from the same cloth, sister. And she was like, I am a silk shirt and you are corduroy pants.
Yep, we're the same. Yep, same
I
material.
totally forgot that. Yeah.
Same exact material. And
Yeah.
Clara says, yes, 2 parts of the same outfit.
I was
Sister.
like, I guess.
You come back out. As you put this on, I'll tell you what it is. It's called the Armor of Weightlessness. This is statted as a breastplate, so it'll give you 14 base AC plus your dex modifier, up to 2. So if you have +2 to your dex, your AC would go up to 16.
Oh, I have +3 to dex. I think we should make it 17.
No, it maxes at 2.
No, I think
Medium
it should
armor
be
is
like-
good.
Unfortunately, medium armor all maxes it at +2 for
Yep.
dex.
Now, here's the other thing about this item.
You can make an exception.
No, this has
Ken,
other
will
stuff. Let me finish. It's like Janny's trying to explain. He's like, hey, stop! Everyone, stop talking. I'm trying to show off this thing that I found. The armor of weightlessness is an armor that has 5 charges. While you wear it, you can use a bonus action to expend 1 or more charges to cast one of the following spells from the armor, and it targets yourself. For 1 charge, you can cast Jump. And for 2 charges, you can cast Levitate on yourself.
Whoa.
It's a good spell right there.
And then this armor gains 1d4 plus 1 expended charges daily at dawn.
That's kind of goated.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, that's a
good.
good piece
Yeah.
of armor.
Uncommon magic item. I was like, awesome. Well, Levitate is limited in the way that like you float, but you can only move yourself by like grabbing
pushing
things.
off
And
stuff.
I think it's
pushing.
like you
Yeah.
can
So you're like in a
rise
spaceship.
vertically like 20 foot. You can't go horizontally though.
Oh no! Against your will, you just go up 20 feet. Womp.
Mm.
So if you're just 20 feet in the air in an open field, you're just stuck there for like a minute or 2.
So you said it's 1 charge for jump, 2 charges for levitate, and then you said something after that.
It gets 1d4 plus 1 charges back every day.
Do you have to concentrate on the levitate?
It's like in 10 minutes.
Yeah,
right?
it's like you're casting a spell. So
Okay, cool.
use a bonus action to cast a spell, and then you concentrate on it as if you were concentrating on a spell. But you are the target. So yeah, you have this armor of weightlessness. When you told me that you wanted a shirt armor, I was like, well, and then I just found the armor of like weightlessness. I was like, oh, this is perfect. It's just the lightest armor you can get is, magic armor, a blouse. The lightest armor you can get is a blouse. You heard it here first. Maybe you like it?
I love it.
All right. Sweet. You know, it's not any. It's armor. It's a shirt. It has a little bit of magic to it. How about I give it to you for $225? Yeah.
That's a little steep. I mean, since you found it all those years ago and you had to dust it off and everything, don't you think you could part with it for like 200?
Go ahead and make a
Please?
persuasion roll for me.
Oh no.
I give disadvantage. Don't rip off my uncle.
Yeah, don't remember my
Do the
uncle.
hinder action.
I'm not ripping him
I
off.
do the
We're
hinder
having a
action.
discussion.
I'm shopping.
That's a filthy little 20.
Whoa, 320. All right. Janie considers it for a second. Goes, you know what? You got me. You know, I wasn't gonna tell you, but there was a stain on the back of the shirt. But yeah, okay. All
What
right.
kind of stain?
You know what? It could have been someone's blood. Who knows, right? Anyways, 200. I'll take it.
Haggle again. He said blood.
You said there was blood on this?
Yeah, but I washed it off. Anyways, yeah. So yeah, 200. All right. I'll take it. I'll sell it. I'll part with it for 200. And then he takes 200 gold from you. I'm assuming you're just,
Okay.
yeah. You're not going to get any lower.
I was
Yeah,
like, were
he's-
you going to
he's-
haggle
He's
again?
making the transaction for you, just reaching into your pocket and taking
Yeah,
200
all right.
gold.
You won this round. Anyways, anybody else need anything? Little special gift for one of my uncles. Again, sorry, Morgan. I gotta run a
That's
business.
fine. That's fine, I get it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry, Morgan. You know, I'm your uncle, but like, you know, I gotta run a business. Gotta run a business.
I get it.
So, not gonna lie, Unc. I don't have a lot of money. So how about this? I'll give you whatever I have, and for old time's sake, I'll tell you a joke.
You're telling jokes now?
Yeah, he's really good at it.
All right. Lay it on me.
What's a frog person's favorite type of music?
I'm gonna interpret this as you actually pulled out a book and are reading from like
This is what I wrote down earlier.
yeah. Jenny like tries to take a peek at the book that you're holding. All right. I don't know. What does he like?
Grunge.
I knew it.
This is what I took notes on earlier.
Wow.
You took a note for that?
Yes. At the back of my books is just jokes for if I'm forced to do comedy.
I just want to say my laugh was
That's
in
really
character
good.
laugh for
That's
that.
very funny.
I hated that.
You
Oh my
forced yourself
goodness.
to do comedy.
I did.
I think Janie laughs. I think Janie's like,
Should I
that's
roll
pretty good.
performance? or-
That's pretty good. Yeah, why not? Let's roll dice. Fun. You get
Okay.
advantage.
Let's go. I need it.
It's better than the standing up thing.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I could be mean and just take
Uh,
advantage, but I'm not going.
Yeah, you should have just not said
I should have just
anything.
not rolled.
You should have just not
Just
rolled.
taking it. What'd you get?
The
Bad.
higher roll was a 4, so that's a 12.
All right. Okay.
Oh.
So 12 total. Jenny laughs and is like, that was pretty good. I think I am going to have to take all your gold then.
Yeah,
but in exchange, I got something special for you. I've been practicing a new hobby. I'll be right back. You hear more clattering and like things falling and moving around. And he comes back, Dante, with a well of ink and a small needle. And he goes, I've been practicing stick and poke tattoos. But I got this very special ink I found this magic ink from somewhere, and it allows me to put magic on people.
Dante's already taken his shirt off.
All right, that's the spirit.
Trust it implicitly.
You see he pulls a bench over for you to like sit on, like backwards almost, so that he can like get to your back or something, or wherever you want the tattoo. It's not going to be anything huge.
Yeah, to Dante is just thinking about how he got recognized earlier today, so he's like, I need to drastically change my appearance.
Oh, so where does the tattattoo go
Like,
where it would be noticeable?
Starting shoulder going up the neck.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
no.
What does this tattoo
Dante.
look like?
Actually,
Leaving
not
it up
just
to him.
Dante. I was like, AJ, I was going to ask you the same thing. Am I designing this tattoo
Yes.
for you?
Oh
Okay.
God.
Something
So-
that would stand out so much that because, Dante Goldenhill doesn't have a tattoo.
Oh, wow, you got him there. So from your shoulder to like neck.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nah, that's wild.
The first thing you notice upon seeing this man.
Okay. So Jonny goes, all right, everybody stand back. It's time for me to do my magic. And you see that as he starts to give the stick and poke tattoo, every time he pokes Dante, a like mote of magic actually does appear. Like what he's doing is actually magical. And he just slowly but surely with every owl creates a tattoo for you that goes from your shoulder up to the middle of your neck. And after you guys are here for like well over an hour. He goes, entertain yourselves. Feel free to just look around. I mean, hey, if you see something you like, maybe I can put it on a shelf for you for later. But yeah, he finishes the tattoo. And Dante,
give it to me. Come on.
From your shoulder to your neck, there is what looks like, it's actually kind of beautiful when you first look at it. There is like a trail that like, it's very like minimal. It's almost not like line art, but it's not too in detail, at least like the scenery. It's like a trail with like some small trees that with like perspective. It's almost like the magic is helping him create this art. There's like perspective of like the trees like changing angle as you look at them. But on the trail with shocking detail is a small pilgrimage of grungs. As you walk up to what looks like on your neck, the culmination of this pilgrimage the grungs are going on is like
a concert.
Yeah, is a beautiful lakefront concert. There's like a whole lake on your neck. Like I said like to half your neck. No, it's like the entire length of your neck. There's like this beautiful lake with like lights. This is colored. It's like the magic ink created colors for like lights and stuff. And there's like a whole stage with a grunge band, a grunge band on your neck. So it looks like people like going to a music festival from your shoulder to your neck. But again, beautiful scenery and shocking detail for the small grungs that make their way up your body. Oh my goodness. So anyways, what was the magic tattoo that you were telling me about anyway?
Oh yeah, it's the tattoo of
barrier tattoo.
Guardianship.
I believe
barrier tattoo.
I'll look it up for you. So
there's like 3 different variations of it. One's a 12.
Yeah, depending on what rarity he's giving me, sets my base AC.
Drawing it
okay.
out.
So he goes, all right, all done. Sorry if that hurt. He's like wiping you off and like sanitizing that area because he poked you a bunch. And he's like, I would say the magic did a lot of the work, but I think personally, I really made this come to life. It seems like you like frogs, so here you go. And he holds up a mirror to you, and you see the artwork that was done to you.
I think you mean masterpiece.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And what he gave you mechanically is a barrier tattoo. It's technically a magic item and it requires attunement, but
I mean, I just spent the last hour receiving it. So.
Yeah,
it's true.
Oh my gosh, it's almost like that was part of the attunement.
No, I didn't think about that. I didn't think about that at all. I just be saying shit and it works out. But yeah, it's an uncommon tattoo. Maybe in the future you can get more.
I'll get it touched up.
You'll get it touched up or have more added to it. But right now, as an uncommon barrier tattoo, it sets your AC to 12 plus your dexterity modifier.
All right. That's better than what I had.
All right, sweet. Okay, cool. The magic item I gave you actually improved your stats. That's good. Sweet. So he gives you that. He takes a step back, admires his work, and he looks at everybody else and says, hey, guys, so what do you think?
Yeah, it looks great.
Right? He likes frogs, right?
Yeah.
So, oh, yeah, any opinions? I want to hear what you guys think of this. I want to hear what your characters think as they see the work of art that has been put on Dante's body.
All right, guys.
I love
and be
it.
honest.
And be real.
And be real.
No, I'm being real.
It looks like a masterpiece.
I believe you. Thanks, Morgan.
Jonny also goes, hey, thanks, Morgan.
I turned right to look at Simon. Ow.
It looks great.
Not looking into that any further.
All right. Hey, that's aces across the board, baby. All right, so, this has been fun and all, but I I think we're going to have to talk strategy about this fight coming up because I've been ignoring the guy who's been at my door for a bit to give you this tattoo. I said I had to
He's been
focus.
there the whole time.
Oh, yeah, he's back.
You got to respect the art of the tattoo.
He's even more red. The judge didn't let him in because the judge was respecting the art of the tattoo. Yeah. Let's Simon, come with me real quick. And he like
Wait,
borrows
what do
you.
I owe you?
Huh? Oh, I already took it. And
It's all the
all your
gold,
gold is gone.
remember?
Okay, cool.
All your gold is gone.
All 114 that I had.
Yep.
I mean, it's a good item, so.
I got the cheapest item.
Yeah. It didn't give you it didn't do anything too
Listen,
crazy.
man, I'm digging the jet too.
The Jat 2. Yeah. Janie's Jat 2 Emporium. But yeah, so he brings you over, and the guy who is as red as a pomegranate. We're gonna keep switching fruit. We're gonna keep switching food items. He goes, finally, you made me wait so long for that stupid tattoo.
Wait, it's stupid?
It's great, Dante. It's great.
Thanks, man.
But anyways, this guy, red as a pomegranate, said he was like, you made me wait forever for that stupid tattoo and all this other stuff. And the ref goes, Mr. Bloomingham, it's okay. Bloomingham. He's
He looks like a ham.
Big ol' ham. Mr. Bloomingham, it's okay. Yeah, magic requires focus. So now that that's done, we can agree on a time and agree on a place. And the big guy, who we now know as Mr. Bloomingham, blurts out, I want it right in the main ring here in the Grand Bazaar. I want everyone to see the day I wipe Jonny off the map. And then the referee looks at like the scheduling book and it goes, well, that's convenient. There is a time slot, 9 a.m. tomorrow. How about that?
Extremely convenient, actually.
Yeah, someone had to cancel.
Some would say contrivance.
Hey, man, the plot has to move somehow.
The man says this. The
Yeah.
ref says
Hey man,
all
we
of
gotta
this.
get this story
Hey,
moving.
man, I have to advance the story. So
Hey, man, I, the ref, and not the DM, think this is a perfect opportunity.
Jonny looks to Simon and looks to the rest of the group and is like, sound good? We good for that time?
It sounds almost too perfect.
You know what? That way. That means the perfect opportunity to kick someone's butt and keep my storefront where it's at.
Don't look this gift horse in the tail.
What?
I've been kicked by a lot of horses.
Ow. Well, okay. That's a lot to unpack right now. So yeah, Jonny signs an agreement with Mr. Bloomingham that tomorrow, 9 a.m., there will be a contest to determine whether or not Jonny has to give up his spot to Mr. Bloomingham. And with that, I think we'll end our session for today. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll be back next time with another episode, and in the meantime, if you liked what you heard, you can talk about our show on our social media pages at 4isapartypod and using the hashtag 4isaparty.